Peace be with you. Dear friends, welcome to Living Flame Podcast website and Facebook group. Gospel Reflections for Monday of the 31st week in the ordinary time. Gospel according to Luke chapter 14, verses 12 to 14. It all happens on the Sabbath day. Why on Sabbath day? Because Jesus would go to places, especially to synagogue. And after going to the synagogue, Jesus would be invited by the prominent figures around him. Of course, it was not always Jesus would go to the prominent figures' homes. But then Jesus' intention was to meet with people. And now, when there is a leading Pharisee who invites Jesus, Jesus would always think of going there because that would be a moment for Jesus to meet other people. Like-minded people, people who criticize, people who look at him for direction, spiritual reflection, parables, stories, because he was a master and teacher, a prophet, and for all of us, he is the Son of God. There would be always words of wisdom coming from the mouth of Jesus. But then Jesus this time says to the host who invited him, when you hold a lunch or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or relatives or your wealthy neighbors in case they may invite you back and you have to repay them. Rather, when you hold a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind. Blessed indeed will you be because of their inability to repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. Very short saying of Jesus, but packed with meaning. Dear friends, if you refer Matthew's Gospel chapter 25, verse 31 onwards, you will find the king sitting on the judgment seat and saying to those who were on the right side, blessed are you, enter into my kingdom, because when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was a stranger, you welcomed me. When I was a foreigner, you invited me into your home. When I was in the prison, you visited me. Blessed are you. Therefore, whatever you have done to the least of my brothers and sisters, you have done unto me. That is the resurrection parable, actually. And Jesus here very clearly says to the Pharisee, well, if you would like to invite your wealthy neighbors, relatives, brothers, and friends, they are going to invite you back because they have to pay back what they have received. That's what happens in our society, dear friends. Whenever we are invited, we feel an obligation of inviting them another occasion. That is what we do normally. And that is fair too. Because if someone invites me, I cannot always go without inviting him or her to my home. That's a normal practice in our society. But then Jesus goes a step ahead. Invite those who cannot pay you back, because you will be waiting for a payment. If you are paid already in this life, then you do not have anything to be paid in the next life. The logic is very clear. If you are capable of inviting or capable of giving something to those people who are not able to pay you back, blessed are you, because your payment will be in the resurrection of the righteous. How true, dear friends, in our lives, if we need to be able to do something to those people who are less fortunate than us, we will be certainly rewarded. And that is where our connection with the resurrection. It is something like we always put money in the bank. In case we have difficulties, we can withdraw from the bank. That is a good example too. In the same way, we have to put money in the bank of the resurrection so that when we get there, we will be rewarded. So we have this beautiful explanation on the part of Jesus, and this holds good for our daily life. Dear friends, one of the things that we can always enjoy is the inner contentment when we give something to someone who is less fortunate than we are, and we feel that indirect happiness deep within us, which cannot be obtained by doing anything else. So that is the joy of God's kingdom within us. Let us ask the Lord for this grace on this day to understand this message of Christ, so that whatever we do to the least of the brothers and sisters, Jesus would say, "You have done unto me." God bless you.